If you look at what we've really accomplished in the last 40 to 50 years, we've been through a rapid process of operational efficiency inside organizations where we started to look at, how do we find patterns to make manual processes that are repeatable, make them more consistent, take human error out of them. And if you look at some of the thinking that went behind the creation of core ERP and CRM technologies, it was really about looking at how do we do this thing manually, and then let's go screen by screen and copy it and take some of the some of the objectivity out of it, or the subjectivity out of it. The fundamental question that I think we need to ask first is, did we actually transform in these last 40 to 50 years, or did we really spend most of the time digitizing? Because if we did transform, then why is it that 28% of our time still goes in looking at email? And if we did transform, why is it that 65% of a sales rep's time is spent not selling and doing other stuff? And why is it that only 7% of customers are actually happy with the service that we're providing them after all this investment of technology that we've had? The hypothesis here is we really just copy-pasted the analog world in the last 50 years for the most part. And no question, we saw some transformation through time. Obviously, we're all here with mobile phones in the last 4 or 5 years. We're actually seeing transformation. But to be very honest, to me, the last 40 years have been mostly uninspiring in terms of us looking at transformative ways of actually working. Every system, if you think about it, literally I think we all went and interviewed managers. We never spoke to any end user and said, what would you like? Because you're signing the check. You're the one who's actually going to buy this thing, right? So very ad hoc processes. The connection between systems that record what we do and where we work have no relationship to each other. We work in email. We work in productivity applications. Nothing to do with how well I'm performing is being recorded in any way, right? Have you ever tried to shadow a sales rep and say, what do you do from 9 to 5? At best, 5% of their time is spent in CRM. From 5 in the evening to 9 in the morning, we're using the most sophisticated applications on the public social web. Thanks to Google, Twitter, Facebook, what have you, right? All of this is creating ridiculous amounts of amazing data. But guess what? There's like this, don't open the front door of your office, because if you do, there's like this tsunami of public data waiting to jump in. Why is it that my suppliers do not have a first-hand knowledge of how well customers felt about products that went out? Why is it that I have to take 6 months to put a document together and share it with them, right? So the data is creating chaos because we don't know how to take these inside the organizations and make sense of them. And then finally, expertise networks. Again, like I said, you got these standalone social collaboration tools here. I got the systems that record stuff there, not really driving the way I actually work, right? There's also been one more issue in the last 40 years when it comes to the value of HR and even other departments, and which is that the roof was never on fire, meaning there was not this compelling burning event that was really, really happening that said, oh my God, stop the presses. This is a must-have conversation, not a nice-to-have conversation when you fly back and you come back and you have 10 minutes for me. My belief is that we are at a point in the history of business, leadership, management, like the Industrial Revolution, where in the next 20 years, compelling events have begun to happen that will change the value of HR, human capital, and everybody will have to relook at the assets of the organization because we are going to have to reorganize around that. And I'm going to share a couple of examples with you that hopefully gives you a sense of how these are working. These are not unfamiliar to you, but my hope is that you leave with them being proxies on how this could actually happen in your organization, right? And then Tesla, of course, right? The biggest thing that I find quite funny about Tesla, the conversation on Tesla is people love to say, oh, it's the electric car company that's going to come and kill Ford and Honda and whoever else. Actually, it's not. It's got nothing to do with electric batteries. Tesla is a software car. That's the most scary part if I were an auto manufacturer, not the electric battery part, because I can copy that. Anyone own a Tesla here? So a quick story. Fuel-injected cars, which means that, for people who have automatics here, is that when you put a car into drive, the car starts moving before you put your foot on the pedal. So it starts moving and then you put your foot on the pedal. So Tesla, for whatever reason, decided that they were not going to do that. So you put the car into gear, into drive, and you have to step on the gas for it to move forward. So it's like a golf cart. Like it's kind of kludgy in a way, right? Like normally the car starts and you gently start. It's like jerk up front, right? Anyway. So drivers complained and said, it's unintuitive because I've been driving automatics forever and this is not how it works. What does Tesla do? Next morning, when you got into your Tesla, there was a software update on the screen saying, we just changed it. If you were a traditional automobile, what would you do? Recall 15 million cars and blah, 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 blah. Next morning it said, okay, now it's fixed. And by the way, if you want to opt out, you can too. The software changed the product. That is transformation. That is roof is on fire. That is compelling event to these three big industries. Quick, another example, and then I'll move on. One of my favorites, actually, what Alibaba is doing in China, right? Big internet conglomerate, nothing to do with banking. What did they decide? They have built a loyal fan base and a trusted relationship with millions and millions of buyers. They decided to get into mutual funds. Today, they own the second largest mutual fund in China, $80 billion worth, bigger than any traditional bank. Why? Because they didn't consider their core asset to be banks and money and streets. No, I own the customer because they're on my mobile app every day. That's my core competitive advantage, right? Which bank woke up, which CEO woke up one morning saying Alibaba is going to come? They're worried about, Chase is worried about Bank of America and HSBC, right? This is the point. These are examples of industries you're in right now. I can tell you this much, they are serving as extremely clear proxies to CEOs of companies who are not in one of these industries, but they can, can I get Ubered is something they worry about. Fundamentally here, this is about three things. It is about operational transformation, it is about ecosystem transformation, and it's about industry transformation. And all of these are about how you work. Digital workplace, operational transformation. Today, if your CEO and your company says, yes, we have to make a move like this, not to play defense, to be offensive, right? And say, these changes are coming, why can't I drive the transformation? Why do I have to wait for an Uber to react? It is primarily first about connecting the new goals of the organization to where the work actually gets done, which we don't have today. How are your talent suite applications connected into your collaboration applications so that you can actually drive a line between strategy, plan, and tasks that people are doing? Employees know what they're doing and why they're doing it. You can monitor, okay, we changed the goal. Can I just see this federate into the company, or did it not happen and I need to do something? That's the level of execution play you need in the organization. There is only one department that can actually drive that. It's sitting in this room. If you want to find the best three people inside your organization to really drive one of these changes, why is it that core HR is this back office system that has half the information about the employee? You compare that, you connect that to what they're doing on the collaboration platform, suddenly you've got identity that has never been seen inside the organization. So we have to just be careful about not looking at old ways of, oh, that's core and that's uncore and non-core. And guys, I can say this, I'm not from, I'm not HR, I'm on the outside, so I can come and say stupid things like this. But in my head, I think this is something where we just have to be careful about not, oh, we called it back office, so that's not important, whatever. No, right? Second, last 20 years, and we know this as India better than anybody, we have spent, organizations have spent the last decade, 2 decades, outsourcing their supply chains and demand chains, right? Outsource supply chain and find more people to sell, and it's so expensive to have a direct sales force. How can I push this on to a partner, an SI or whatever? Guess what? The people who know the components that make our products as good as they are, and the ones who know our customers don't work for us anymore. So talent is about full-time and contingent workers and externals. I'm sorry. If you cannot look and do analysis across that entire base to say, who are the 7 people in my ecosystem who can actually serve this customer better, help us design this product better, you are at a gigantic disadvantage because you have taken all the efficiency out already from outsourcing. There are 4 things I think you need to consider when you talk to the market. This is not about picking this LMS versus that. That's too tactical in this discussion. There are 4 things that you should expect, I think, from your CIOs as you look at driving through transformation. First is, is it repeatable? Like I said, can I set new goals and see it through? Are my talent systems, my CRM systems, my ERP systems, are they connected into where people work so we can actually see follow through? Demand that of any technology partner that you sign up with going forward. Second, anybody tells you that you can guess right now for the next 10 years what technology you need is lying to you. The market is moving so fast right now that you cannot get locked into, these are the four or five things I need to buy. What you need is definitely what's non-core, off the shelf. Don't waste your time. But you need a platform where if your core advantage is customer service, you know what? You need to be able to build a mobile app that is unbelievably good, that delivers on your brand value versus relying on something that's off the shelf. Make sure you have one of those platforms there, right? Last one, or the third one, is designed for me. Again, if you use Facebook, right, or Google+, very clear. All my friends, everything I group, the games I play, anything I do comes to my stream. In the enterprise, I got to go to 9 systems. That's got to change. I got to find the things that matter to me as an individual. And then finally, Social collaboration, it's awesome to see that it's a big topic here. Obviously, I'm biased. It's the products I own. But it has to be embedded in process. It cannot be sitting in a silo out there. If you like living in CRM, social better be there. If you like living on your social platform, CRM better come to you. This whole distinction needs to go, right? This, in my mind, is transformation. I work for SAP, obviously, we do it. We have 15 million subscribers on the platform that are starting to look at it this way. I want Sid to do an advertorial here, but that's us. Thank you very much.